Scene script. Have you ever wondered why, in an age of increasing awareness, financial fraud continues to skyrocket? It's a paradox that's as perplexing as it is concerning. We're living in a time when people, more than ever, are attuned to the risks and red flags of financial fraud. From suspicious text messages to fishy crypto influencers, we've been conditioned to be on high alert. Yet, despite this heightened awareness, financial fraud incidents are on the rise. One might think that this increased vigilance would deter fraudsters. However, it seems that the opposite is happening. The more we know, the more they adapt, developing new and sophisticated schemes to outsmart even the most cautious among us. It's a twisted game of cat and mouse, where the mouse continually finds new ways to evade capture. Perhaps part of the problem lies in society's fascination with con artists. There's a certain allure to the cunning and guile with which they operate, often portrayed in movies and television series as clever rogues outsmarting the system. But the reality is far from glamorous. The real-life victims of these schemes often suffer devastating financial and emotional consequences. The types of financial fraud are as varied as they are damaging. Phishing scams, for instance, trick individuals into revealing sensitive information like passwords and credit card numbers. Identity theft involves stealing someone's personal information to commit fraud. Ponzi schemes promise high returns with little risk, using the funds from new investors to pay off earlier investors. And then there are crypto scams, where fraudsters exploit the volatility and complexity of cryptocurrency markets to dupe investors. Each of these forms of fraud is insidious in its own way, preying on trust and exploiting vulnerabilities. And while we're becoming more adept at recognizing these scams, they continue to evolve, finding new ways to deceive and defraud. Intriguing, isn't it, how the heightened vigilance hasn't deterred the fraudsters, but rather spurred them on? Let's delve deeper into this world of deception with our first case study, phishing scams. Picture this. It's a normal day and you receive an email from your bank. They've detected unusual activity on your account and they need you to verify your information. Sounds normal, right? But what if I told you that this seemingly harmless email was the bait in a carefully laid out plan designed to rob you of your hard-earned money? This is the reality of a phishing scam. A recent high-profile example of such a scheme happened just last year. A group of fraudsters sent out thousands of these so-called urgent emails to unsuspecting victims. Their weapon of choice? Fear. They used the fear of losing money or having personal information compromised to lure their victims into their trap. The email was professionally designed, complete with the bank's logo and official language. It contained a link that directed to an almost perfect replica of the bank's website. The victims, thinking they were on the bank's official site, willingly entered their login credentials, credit card numbers, and even their social security numbers. The aftermath was devastating. The fraudsters had access to the victims' bank accounts, credit cards, and identities. They siphoned off millions before the scam was discovered, and the faux website was taken down. The victims were left to pick up the pieces, grappling with lost savings, damaged credit scores, and a feeling of violation that's hard to shake off. This case study paints a chilling picture of how deceptively simple a phishing scam can be. It's not about complex tech or elaborate plans. It's about understanding human psychology, exploiting trust, and using fear as a tool to manipulate. Phishing scams are a stark reminder that in this digital age, staying vigilant and informed is our best defense against the con artists who lurk in the shadows of our inboxes. Remember, if an email or message seems suspicious, it's better to be safe than sorry. Reach out to your financial institutions directly and never click on links or provide personal information without verifying the source first. A classic case of manipulation and deceit, wouldn't you agree? From a deceptive email to a stolen identity, our next case study takes us to the dark world of identity theft. Let's delve into the story of Jane Doe. Jane, like many of us, was living a normal life until one day her world turned upside down. She woke up to find numerous credit card charges she didn't recognize. Her identity had been stolen. The thieves had used a tactic known as phishing. They sent Jane an email, posing as her bank, and asked her to update her personal information. The email looked legitimate, complete with the bank's logo and official language. Jane, unfortunately, fell for it and shared her sensitive information, not knowing that she was walking into a trap. The thieves wasted no time. They used Jane's information to open new credit cards, take out loans, and make expensive purchases. Jane was left with a financial mess and a severely damaged credit score. The effect on Jane was devastating. She was constantly stressed trying to fix her financial life. She had to spend countless hours on the phone with banks and credit agencies, trying to prove her innocence. The emotional toll was as heavy as the financial one. The feeling of being violated, of having her personal life invaded, was something she couldn't shake off. But Jane did not give up. She took steps to resolve the situation. She reported the theft to her bank and the police, disputed the fraudulent charges, and started monitoring her credit reports regularly. She also learned to be more cautious about sharing her personal information. Jane's story is not unique. Millions of people around the world have been victims of identity theft. It's a crime that's growing in frequency and sophistication, fueled by our increasing digital footprints and the abundance of personal information available online. This case is an alarming reminder of how our personal information can be weaponized against us. It underscores the importance of vigilance and caution when it comes to our digital lives. Remember, in the digital world, your personal information is as valuable as gold. Protect it. As we move into the digital age, so too does financial fraud. Enter our next case study, crypto scams. In the heart of the digital revolution, amidst the buzz of blockchain and the allure of easy profit, a new predator has emerged. The crypto scam is a beast that feeds on the hopes and dreams of those looking to ride the wave of cryptocurrency's rise to prominence. Picture this: a charismatic crypto influencer, a self-proclaimed crypto guru, appears on various social media platforms, promising high returns on an obscure yet promising cryptocurrency. His words are convincing, his promises tantalizing. Thousands, seduced by the allure of quick riches, invest their hard-earned money. They wait, their eyes glued to their digital wallets, hoping to see their investments multiply. But alas, the day never comes. The obscure cryptocurrency never skyrockets. Instead, it plummets. And the self-proclaimed guru? He vanishes, leaving behind a trail of shattered dreams and empty wallets. This, my friends, is the story of a typical crypto scam. The impact of such scams is devastating. Victims lose not only their money, but also their trust in the promising world of digital currency. The fallout is widespread, touching the lives of individuals, families, and communities. The damage is not only financial but also emotional and psychological. The scammer in most cases remains unpunished, hidden behind the veil of anonymity provided by the internet. The victims, on the other hand, are left to pick up the pieces of their shattered dreams. But remember, knowledge is power. By understanding how these scams work, we can arm ourselves against them. Be skeptical of too good to be true promises. Do your research before investing, and always remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. A sobering look at the darker side of the digital currency boom. Now that we've journeyed through the murky waters of financial fraud, what can we do to safeguard ourselves? The first step to protection is awareness. Being vigilant and cautious before sharing personal information or making transactions can help us avoid falling prey to scams. This means scrutinizing emails, messages, and calls that ask for sensitive information or that offer too good to be true investment opportunities. Trust but verify. Next, let's talk about the role of financial institutions. Banks, credit card companies, and other financial institutions have a critical part to play in fraud prevention. They can implement robust security measures such as two-factor authentication and real-time fraud detection systems to protect their customers. Financial institutions can also educate their customers about common scams and how to avoid them. However, it's not just about depending on these institutions. We must also take personal responsibility to secure our finances. This includes regularly reviewing our account statements for any unauthorized transactions and promptly reporting any suspicious activities. Remember, it's easier to prevent fraud than to recover from it. Lastly, but certainly not least, the importance of continuous education cannot be overstated. In a world where scams are ever evolving, staying informed is our best defense. This could be as simple as following trusted financial news outlets, or even attending seminars and workshops on financial security. The internet can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it has opened up a plethora of opportunities for scammers, but on the other, it has also provided us with an abundance of resources to educate ourselves and stay informed. So let's wield this sword wisely. In this game of cat and mouse, It's crucial that we stay one step ahead. After all, the best way to win is not to play. But if we must play, let's play smart. Remember, in the world of finance, knowledge is not just power, it's protection.